Students in the Daytona State College Broadcast Television Production Associate of Science degree work as production crew members in the following program.
It is a picture-perfect day on campus here at Daytona State College. You're looking at the Halifax Health Softball Complex, and we are ready for tremendous NJCAA softball as Lake-Sumter, the Lakehawks, are in town from Leesburg to take on the Daytona State Falcons. Come on inside our state-of-the-art studio here at Daytona State College. I'm Drew Felios, thrilled to be joined by the one, the only Austin Lyon. And Austin, last year we saw these two teams play to a game that lasted about an hour. It was the Daytona State runaway. Today could be a little bit different.
And we saw a great pitching performance last year when these two teams met from Daytona State, but pitching has been a tremendous challenge this season for the Falcons, a program that has been decimated by injuries. You come into the season with a plan of how you're going to rotate players through the circle. Daytona State has lost 3 of their top pitchers, nearly impossible to overcome, but this team is continuing to fight now that we're in conference play.
Yeah, it's definitely been a challenging season for Kelly Harrell, the head coach of Daytona State. Her team, though, is fighting through it. But let's take a look at Lake-Sumter, a team that is hovering around the 500 mark. And the order coming into today, they're going to send Morgan Johnson to the plate first, followed by Jaritza Montero, Kaylee Thomas, Raquel Camuglia, Reese Snipes, Alyssa Upsall, Rhonda Motzinger also with Jordan Noble for the Lakehawks. So Lake-Sumter got some lethal bats in that lineup. Daytona State will try and silence those bats. And Jay Miller, tremendous head coach for Lake-Sumter.
Yeah, it's been an interesting season for Lake-Sumter. They started out the first third of the year. They were hitting lights out, 380 as a team. The first 3 weeks, they weren't pitching very well. Then they had a stretch where their defense was struggling. Now they're in a stretch where they're struggling to hit. So there's going to be a time when Lake-Sumter puts it all together, and when that happens, this is going to be a formidable ball club.
You see Daytona State being introduced, and we'll meet the Daytona State defense. Got some players defensively. Start with Zoe Emerson, who will get the ball in the circle for the Falcons. Catching will be Hannah Rizzuto, and the third baseman, Maddie Linhardt, Adriana Onesimo, the shortstop, Daisy Mcqueen playing second, and Margettis, the tremendous first baseman for Daytona State. The outfield, Rodriguez, Strickland, and Brennan. Good speed out there for the Falcons.
It's going to be interesting to see how Emerson performs. Her last outing was Saturday against Santa Fe, one of her better outings of the season. Pitched a couple of innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. Only one of them was earned. Coach Harrell counting on her to attack the strike zone. That's going to be key to her success today.
Now we'll pause for the national anthem. So the Falcons of Daytona State, we're in the familiar white and blue. Tremendous umpires we have also coming into this contest. Darren Daniels behind the plate, James Way at third base, and Shannon Bonson will be at first. Mentioned the head coach for Daytona State, Kelly Harrell, doing a great job with this team. Again, season's been full of challenges. Austin, tough to find consistency in the lineup. Pitching has been injured. This is one of those seasons where you just got to dig in.
I mean, it's unprecedented, to be honest with you. I mean, you and I have been covering college and high school sports for a long time in this state, and I don't remember a situation where a college softball team lost 3 of their top 4 pitchers that they thought they were going to have coming into the year. And Coach Harrell knew that pitching wasn't necessarily going to be the strength of this team, but she felt good about the arms that she had. But Paige Lassiter gets hurt before the season started. She was going to be the leader of this team during the season. Kansas Crean, Mariah Rivera, now out for the year. They've combined to throw almost 50 innings. So it's been a tremendous challenge for Coach Harrell to try and put her team in position to win each and every game.
So here we go. Morgan Johnson leading things off for Lake-Sumter. Zoe Emerson dealing. Put this ball in the air, hit right towards the left fielder, and coming in to make the grab is Rodriguez for the Falcons. Lake-Sumter comes in here. They have lost 6 straight. The record just under 500, 20-22. So this all of a sudden a very important game. These two, of course, are going to play one after this one.
It's been a season of streaks. You know, Lake-Sumter started the year 4-0. They had a stretch where they won 5 straight. They were winners of 4 out of 5 before this recent losing streak. So it's a team that's struggled to find consistency, but they're really capable. I mean, there's a lot of talent up and down this roster.
Jaritza Montero takes a strike. They're pitching really setting the tone. Coach Harrell told us we've got to set the tone today. Can Emerson do that for us? It's going to be a big key in this game. This is a chopper that's going to head into left field for a base hit. So first runner aboard for the Lakehawks.
And Jaritza Montero, one of the premier hitters in the entire league. That's her 42nd hit this season. Already has the program record for doubles. But if you're Coach Harrell, there's no problem with that. What you want is for Zoe Emerson to be in the zone. She likes to work down in the zone, so you want to get a lot of ground balls. Some of those are going to find their way through, but she is pitching to contact in the first 2 hitters, and if she can continue to do that, she's got a good chance to be successful.
Kaylee Thomas's turn. I'm telling you, it is an absolute pristine day here on campus. If you're not here at the ballpark, plenty of time to get here. We'll be playing through the night. Chamber of Commerce weather here on the East Coast. This pitch a little bit low. Throw it down, and the runner's going to advance to second base. So heads up by Montero. She'll try and take third. And Jaritza Montero, head first, is safe.
A tough play there. Rizzuto and Margettis not quite on the same page. Rizzuto trying to throw behind the runner and catch Montero just a little bit off the bag. The throw was slightly off. Margettis wasn't expecting it. The result is a 2-base error.
Table set here for Kaylee Thomas. Thomas watches one high. She is from Homosassa, Lecanto High School, just north of the Tampa Bay area. Freshman in the program this year for Lake-Sumter.
Played high school softball for Butch Miller. He's the head coach at Lecanto. That is Jay Miller's father. So went from one member of the Miller family to another, and she scorches a ground ball there.
First run is through for the Lakehawks. So Lake-Sumter wastes no time getting on the board. Nicely done by Kaylee Thomas.
Just a nice piece of hitting. Gets a ball that she can handle and a rocket towards short. And the error there ultimately leads to a run. Without the error, you're looking at first and second with 1 out. Instead, it's a 1-0 game.
Already Coach Harrell making a trip to the circle. Here's a look at the hit. And again, as you said, Austin, good piece of hitting, just driving it right into the ground and getting a bat on it.
And back-to-back ground balls through that left side. again, Emerson's got a pitch to contact. That's a key. And we could see 3 or 4 different arms today for Daytona State. I mean, Kelly Harrell told us before the game today that she's going to do whatever it takes for her team to win. This is not a staff that relies on 1 or 2 arms, and they don't go into a game thinking that you're going to get 5, 6 innings from whoever starts. It is truly a collective effort to try to pitch this team to have a chance to win ball games.
Here's Raquel Camuglia, another freshman. She's from Spring Hill. Former Springstead Eagle at the plate. So another from the northern part of that Tampa Bay area, and I guarantee you, Dad is informing son of the ball players up there to filter into his program.
Yeah, Camuglia was a monster as a senior at Springstead. Hit .557 with 47 runs driven in. Those are eye-popping numbers. That's the reason why she's in the cleanup spot. Second on the team in hits and RBIs behind Montero.
.365 average here. Playing big-time softball, and a strike. Just grazed the outside part of the plate. It's 2-1.
One thing you've got to do if you're Emerson, you've given up a couple of hits, but you can't be too fine when you're pitching. It's good to work on the corners, but you've got to find the zone.
Possible double play ball. They get one. Over to first. She's safe. Well played, though, by Daytona State. They get that lead runner, Thomas. And there's 2 away.
So often this year, Daytona State has been playing from behind. That's something that takes a toll mentally on you when you've constantly got to come back. And here in the top half of the first, they've given up 1, but given how well this offense has been playing, they're certainly feel like they're going to put up more than 1 run this afternoon, but you want to try to limit the damage. The error led to a run. Let's see if Emerson can get out of the inning and get her team in the dugout.
Reese Snipes is the hitter. Takes one, and it's a strike. So 12 games left for Daytona State. A 51-game regular season for the Falcons. Another one just outside. So still time to right the ship, but Austin, they are running out of time. And again, a frustrating year. We can only say it so many times, but Daytona State, they feel like they've got lots of talent in this program. Hopefully it can come through today. There's a base hit into center field, and Lake-Sumter swinging a pretty good bat here in the first.
They're really barreling up a lot of the pitches from Emerson. That's the 3rd hit of the inning. And they're ground balls, but they're hard-hit ground balls. And that's the way that Emerson pitches. She's primarily a drop ball pitcher. She's going to pitch to contact. But the hitters for Lake-Sumter are finding the barrel.
Here's Alyssa Upsall, sophomore out of Punta Gorda. Remember watching her last year. She is a talented young lady. She'll chop one to first and trying to make the tag. Safe there, and everybody is safe. Leads to the bases loaded here with 2 down.
Upsall's got great speed, left-handed hitter, which means it's a few feet shorter for her to get down to first base, and that speed put a tremendous amount of pressure on Anna Margettis. A momentary bobble meant that it was going to be a close play, and Upsall able to beat it.
So good opportunity here for Rhonda Motzinger, the redshirt sophomore. She's got tons of power she brings to the plate.
A huge, huge time in this game. It's only the first inning, but Coach Harrell has talked about her team throughout the season needing to make clutch pitches and come through with clutch at-bats. They need one here.
Drilled into right field, and it is past the right fielder, Brennan. Couple run score. Here comes the 3rd, and it's a 2-out double, producing 3 RBIs for the Lakehawks. It's 4-0.
Great piece of hitting by Motzinger. She goes the opposite way with a pitch on the outer half of the plate, tailing away from Brennan. Just didn't have a chance to make what would have been an outstanding catch. See her reaching down, nearly able to glove it. But with 2 outs, the runners are moving on contact. And so when Brennan's not able to make the catch and then the ball gets away from her just momentarily, that is more than enough time for the merry-go-round to have all 3 runners come in.
So a tough start here for Daytona State. Zoe Emerson trying to shake it off, trying to get as much out of her right arm today as possible. Remember last time we were here, Sarah Pollock came in and pitched a gem for the Falcons, but Austin, that's likely not going to happen in this first game.
Pollock's a player who's had to carry a lot of pressure. A lot of the pitching load has fallen on her. And again, another player who didn't expect to be in that position at the start of the year, but she has made the most of it. Emerson, you want to try to get out of here, get out, get your team in the dugout, and hopefully Daytona State can get a run or 2 across in the home half of the first to start to build some momentum for a comeback.
Jordan Noble with 2 outs. She'll watch one low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Noble with a .243 average. And she'll hit one pretty hard into center field. They're going to wave the runner coming in. No play at the plate as Motzinger is in standing up, and it's 5-0.
Oh, we told you at the top of the broadcast, this was a talented Lake-Sumter group. In the first 3 weeks of the season, they were hitting almost 400 as a team. And they have certainly brought the bats here to Daytona State. Great approach. They're waiting on their pitch, not forcing it, and they're hitting the ball all over the park. We've seen balls go through the left side, back up the middle.
Right back to the pitcher. Emerson takes care of this one, but the damage has been done. A 5 spot on the board. Lake-Sumter comes roaring out of the gates. Daytona State coming up in the bottom of the first when we return here to Daytona.
Lakehawks 5, the Falcons are coming to bat.
Well, Halifax Health is a proud supporter of Falcon Athletics and is the official healthcare provider for the Falcons athletic program. Halifax Health and the partnership with Daytona State College. It is absolutely magical here on campus. There you take a look at the health center and this softball complex aptly named after Halifax Health. Softball stadium, there you see the signage there in center field, Austin. Just tremendous to have that right in your backyard.
Yeah, really cool view. I mean, it's a fun place to play. The skyscape over that center field fence, the tall Halifax Health building is imposing, but certainly a lot of fun to come here. It's a fantastic park, and we've been fortunate the times that we have come up here. The weather has just been fantastic, as is again the case today.
So Daytona State up to bat now. Here's Rodriguez leading things off. Mariana Rodriguez. She'll be followed by Adriana Onesimo and Daisy Mcqueen here. 1, 2, 3 for the Falcons.
Rodriguez, throughout the season and especially in conference play, has been really consistent with the bat. She was injured earlier in the season, was in the concussion protocol, missed 6 games, but her presence in this lineup makes Daytona State a different team.
Absolutely drills one to center field on the run. How about that catch? Wow. What a catch by Jordan Noble, tracking back Willie Mays-like there, Austin, to make the grab.
A phenomenal play by Noble.
That's as good as it gets. So Onesimo will be coming up now, followed by Mcqueen. Margettis in the 4-hole, Hannah Rizzuto, Maddie Linhardt, Ella Ferry, Peyton Brennan, Leighton Strickland, and Emerson is the pitcher today. How about a little web gem here to start this game?
You know, it's interesting. Noble was primarily an infielder and a catcher last season, but earned her spot as a starter in center field. And a coaching staff has raved about how much ground she can cover out there. And there was an example of it. That ball was driven to center field. Noble had a quick reaction, and her athleticism allowed her to get to that ball.
See really good pop right now into the mid from Darian Pippin, the starting pitcher here for Lake-Sumter.
Yeah, Pippin anxious to atone for a rough outing last Wednesday against Santa Fe. Gave up 4 runs, 7 hits, and 4 1/3, but she has been better than that throughout this season. ERA below 3. She's got a winning record for this team and a consistent performer in the circle.
How about that changeup, too? That was nasty. Comes in with the fastball and able to get Onesimo to pop it up. Montero makes the grab. There's 2 away. Take one more look, though, at the catch from Noble. How good is this?
Noble tracking it all the way in center field. Again, you've got to react quickly. They teach you as an outfielder, your first step has to be back. You just caught the tail end of it there. But you see that this ball is going to come off the bat, and it is hit. And she immediately takes a step back, retreating all the way, keeping her eyes on it, tracking it. That's a big challenge for young outfielders, is figuring out how to track the ball, especially on a clear day with as sunny as it is. Just an outstanding play by Noble. And look, Drew, this kind of encompasses the way the season's gone for Daytona State, right? The top half of the inning, you've got some balls that barely get through. There was a play that could have been made in the outfield to maybe end the inning with a 1-run lead. And when Daytona State comes up, they just barrel up a ball and drive it to center. The result is an out. You know, so those are the types of things that have been happening to the Falcons this season.
Got to have a little luck on your side. It just has not been with the Falcons this year. Big swing and a miss from Mcqueen, and that'll do it for Daytona State in the first. So Darian Pippin comes out firing for Lake-Sumter. We've played 1. It's 5-0 visitors as we head to the second on WDSC TV. Welcome back here to Daytona State College. Drew Felios, Austin Lyon, and our phenomenal crew here on campus at Daytona State, bringing you Falcons softball. Head coach Jay Miller, tremendous program for the Lake Hawks, coming in here and playing red hot in the first inning. Morgan Johnson will come to the plate to lead things off in the second. Zoe Emerson in the circle for Daytona State. Ball's a little bit low, and that is where Emerson likes to keep that zone of hers nice and low so players are not able to hit it. But unfortunately, Lake-Sumter just getting great swings here so far.
Yeah, primarily a drop ball pitcher. She's got some movement through the zone. And you're going to have players put the ball in play. When they do, your defense has to be able to make plays.
Daisy Mcqueen simply cannot dig it out of the dirt. And another base runner here with nobody out.
The next batter, second baseman, number 3.
Jaritza Montero now coming up for Lake-Sumter.
You know, softball's such a mental challenge. I mean, every sport is a mental challenge, right? But when things don't go well early, it's so easy to lose a little bit of focus, get down on yourself just a little bit, and losing a little bit of focus can make a huge difference. But it's hard when you're in the midst of a tough season and you get down early to stay locked in.
Hit to short. That's a nice play. Adriana Onesimo up throwing for the first out. And Austin, you know, the way a softball season is structured, you'll play as many as 6 games in a weekend from Friday to Sunday. So when things aren't going well, it's almost like it's magnified because you have so much play in so little time.
Yeah, no doubt. As you get another look at the nice backhand play there by Onesimo, got a friendly hop and was able to up and throw quickly to get the speedy Montero. Especially, Drew, the way that these games are set up, you're playing doubleheaders in the same day. So it takes that much larger of a toll on your pitching staff. You know, it's one thing if you have a consistent starter, you come into a game, you know, maybe they're not at their best, but they get through 5 or 6 innings, and so you've got your entire staff at your disposal for game 2. Daytona State is routinely having to use 3 and 4 pitchers because of the lack of depth. And look, it's no one's fault. There are injuries that happen in sports, and unfortunately, because of those injuries, 3 of the primary starters for Daytona State have gone down. So you've got players who have some pitching experience when they were back in high school, some pitching experience on a travel team several years ago that are being thrust into roles of having to pitch a lot of innings, and it's just a tremendous challenge.
Thomas is the hitter. You mentioned the pitcher from her travel team. Ella Ferry has tried to pitch in for Daytona State. Also, Adriana Onesimo has pitched in. Ladies basically saying, hey, coach, yeah, I pitched. Give me the ball.
And this is the type of adversity that you hope is going to make this team and this program stronger when they come back together next year. I mean, they're in a position now where asking them to win the conference or have a chance to get to the state tournament is going to be too much to ask given all the trying circumstances. But you're constantly building and you're constantly looking ahead. And so these experiences have a chance to make this team a lot better in the future.
Raquel Camuglia, last time a fielder's choice, but a big stick in the lineup. She is the cleanup hitter here for Lake-Sumter. This ball is hit hard to the shortstop, and once again, the right decision made by Onesimo to get the force on the lead runner. There's 2 away.
And one of the cool things about softball in comparison to baseball is that because it's much faster, the decision-making is amplified, right? So like that ball is stung to Onesimo, and in your head, you've got to make a decision. Do I have a chance at a double play, or do I get the lead runner? Mcqueen wasn't quite at the bag, so Onesimo makes the prudent decision by throwing to third to get the lead runner.
Now Reese Snipes the hitter. Base hit her last time up. 4 base hits in the first for this Lake-Sumter lineup. Reese Snipes takes the strike. Snipes is a freshman out of Port Orange, a Spruce Creek High School product. They've produced some really, really good players over the years. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good contact made again. This is into left field. They're going to wave the runner in. Will they have a chance at the plate? No, she is in. Here comes another run around third. Safe again, Daytona State. Right now tossing it all over the yard, and that was not a good cutoff sequence. Once the dust settles, it's 7-0.
You knew the first run was going to score, but when the ball starts to get away, you've got to be in the right spot. And Emerson, her responsibility there is to cover home plate. Rizzuto leaves home plate to try to get the ball that got away. If Emerson's at home plate, that run probably gets cut down. But Emerson was a step or 2 away, and the result was another run across. Here you're going to see a nice piece of hitting. Pulled it through. The ball takes a big hop. The throw is going to get away from Rizzuto. Would have been a close play at home. Emerson's got to be at home on the bag ready to cover. She's a couple steps away. The result is that another run can come in.
Definitely a play that Coach Harrell will take a look at and point out to her young players. As Alyssa Upsall now comes up with 2 away. A 7 spot on the board for the Lakehawks. As Austin said, keep in mind with another game coming up after this one, got to get the most out of your pitching. On normal circumstances, if this were just one, we probably would see a pitching change. But Emerson working hard, leave her in there and see what she can do. Play made to end the inning by Mcqueen. And 2 more runs for Lake-Sumter, extends their lead to 7-0. Falcons looking for runs when we come back here on campus. Welcome back here on campus at Daytona State. Some Falcons high and above. Good spot there. A nice seat. I wonder if they paid for that seat, Austin.
Nice perch. I love it. Got the best view in the house.
Falcons trying to soar here, but right now have not taken flight up until now. 7-0 is the score. Big swing of the bat, and this is going to be foul. So she'll come back. We'll do it again.
Anna Margetta is so consistent throughout the last couple of years. Falcons depending on her to drive in runs, come through with runners on base. She had 3 RBIs in the doubleheader against Santa Fe on Saturday. Been a rock for this program the last couple of seasons.
Margettis gets a couple good swings that time, deposits this one into left for a base hit. Daytona State's got their first base runner.
Yeah, clearly seeing the ball well. Margettis has raised her average now above 300.
Number 4, Hannah Rizzuto.
Now this is the question that Kelly Harrell has. You know, the top 4 hitters in their lineup have been pretty consistent in conference play. What she really needs for this offense to take it to the next level and start to put some bigger numbers on the board is these 5-6 position players to come through here. A nice bunt laid down by Rizzuto, so opting to play small ball a little bit. But Rizzuto and Lindhardt, who's going to come up next, are the key players in this lineup that Coach Harrell would like to see get going to provide some more protection for Margettis.
It was a heck of a play by Upsall, bare-handing it, getting it over to first. Margettis now on second base for the Falcons. So this is Maddie Linhardt, and she'll take a strike. A little bit up that time. Freshman from Inverness at a Citrus High School. She's gone yard 3 times this year. Known for her defense. Falcons need her offense right here in this moment. As that one fouled back. She is down 0-2.
Coach Harrell loves her glove down there at the hot corner. You've got to have someone who's capable and can react quickly at third base, and certainly Linhardt fits that.
So keep an eye on Margettis. Change up, a little bit off the plate.
Pippin's been effective with the off-speed stuff so far. Good job by Linhardt laying off that.
Swung at it. Got a piece of it, but it's into the catcher's mitt, a strike 3.
You know, effective pitching, a lot of times you hear coaches and great pitchers talk about not only do you want to change speeds, but you want to change eye level, right? So we had a changeup that was low and away, come back in with a rise ball up and on the inside part of the plate. Totally different look there for Linhardt, and a great pitch by Pippen.
Darian Pippen really, really throwing well here through 2. This is Ella Ferry now stepping up for Daytona State. Don't believe we saw her swing a bat last time we were here, but she's out of Bunnell, homeschooled. As we mentioned, player that has volunteered to pitch for Coach Harrell, and the shortage of arms that has taken place this year because of the injuries.
She was a catcher in high school at Matanzas, which is just north of Daytona. And when you have injuries, players are oftentimes thrust into roles that they weren't expecting. You hear coaches all the time talk about, you've got to be ready. You've got to be ready. Well, this is an example of why you have to be ready. You never know at what point coach is going to call on you to play a position, and it might be a position that you're not normally working on, but you have some experience with.
Yeah, one thing Coach Harrell doesn't have experience with, seasons like this. She says, I've never been a part of a season where so many things have not gone our way. Clearly trying to adjust to it. This was put in the air from Ferry. Shortstop drifts back, and Snipes makes the grab to take care of Daytona State in the second. So we have played 2. Lake-Sumter with a 7-0 lead over Daytona State. Halifax Health, a proud supporter of Falcon Athletics, the official healthcare provider for the Daytona State athletics program. Halifax Health and Daytona State, an incredible partnership here on campus.
Struggle to take care of yourself and your family. The uncertainty. At Halifax Health, our doors are always open, and we're here to make you feel safe again. We're here so you don't have to hide from your health. We're here to take care of you. Halifax Health. Live your life well.
No better place to be than the Halifax Health Softball Complex here at Daytona State. Drew Felios with Austin Lyon. We were reminiscing about softball earlier today. One of the greatest players to ever play softball here in the Sunshine State, Kelsey Dunn. Remember her? She is, you talk about Kelsey Dunn, the daughter of athletic director Will Dunn. I was throwing her name around, and Austin, who is a Central Florida sports aficionado, says, Drew, do you realize she's probably the GOAT, the best player of all time? She was really that good.
Incredible. She had 38 strikeouts in a game to help Spruce Creek win a regional game that went 17 innings, went on to Alabama, where she was the SEC Player of the Year twice, helped the Crimson Tide reach the College World Series, and now she coaches just down the street at Embry-Riddle.
And we're so happy to have her father, of course, Will Dunn, a part of this athletic program. What an institution he has built here at Daytona State. Another hard shot into left, and that is played out there by Rodriguez, the left fielder, for the first out.
Central Florida's had some really good pitchers have come through the Central Florida area that have gone on to SEC schools and have led their teams to the College World Series. But you know, you talk to people in this area that have been around softball for a long time. Kelsey Dunn is the gold standard for performances in the circle. There was no one better.
Jordan Noble comes up swinging the bat. And what that does, Austin, is it inspires so many young ladies to play this great game. You have seen the level of player over the years. You talk about players like Ocasio, who goes to play for University of Florida, coming out of this region as well. So many great ones, and they just keep getting better and better because they are inspired as youngsters.
Yeah, and the travel ball in this state, I mean, over the course of the last 10 years, 20 years, has grown by leaps and bounds. I mean, there was a time when the Pac-12 owned college softball, and the best players all came from California. Now you have seen the power shift to the SEC, and the best players in the country are coming from Florida.
No doubt. Get a chance to see the travel scene at Disney not too far away, and Lake-Sumter with several players from the Sunshine State. Extremely talented. Same with Daytona State as well. That's a check swing into right field. Nicely done by Jordan Noble. She is having herself a really good game here thus far. Remember, she had that circus catch in center field.
And Drew, there's a trickle-down effect to that. So the best players in the state of Florida are oftentimes finding themselves end up at SEC schools, but because of the quantity of players that are in the Sunshine State, the trickle-down effect means that programs like Daytona State and Lake-Sumter end up with players that if they were in another state might be going to a Division I program right out of high school, but there's only so many spots in the state of Florida. Players in high school want to stay in Florida to be in the good climate, to play college softball, and so you end up with a lot of talent on these junior college rosters.
How about this bunt? How about dropping a dime right in front of home plate? And that is exactly what Morgan Herndon did. So the number 9 gets on for the Lakehawks, and now little chopper tests the third baseman, and Linhardt is up to that task. She is going to be out as she comes off the base at third, I believe. They're not going to stop play there, as it looked like she was in some pain, but James Way, our third base umpire, did say she was out.
Boy, what a rocket from Linhardt. She comes up to field that little dribbler from Johnson, delivers a perfect throw, and then Jordan Noble slips, loses her footing as she was off the bag and got to the point where she couldn't get back to the bag.
Take one more look here.
Give you another look. Here is Noble. So she comes around third. She hits the inside of the bag, and then as she's going back, you can see the grimace on her face, and she just crumbles. Not able to get back to the bag. Smart decision by Margettis, throwing back over to third base. And Onesimo is able to apply the tag for out number 3. You just hope that's not a serious injury to Jordan Noble.
Yeah, Noble certainly in some pain as we come to the end of the top half of the second. Drew Felios with Austin Lyon, Daytona State, trying to get the bats going so far. Just have not been able to put much offensive pressure on this Lakehawks defense. See the complex here at Daytona State. This is the first of 2 games today, so if you're watching on WDSC TV, the ideal way to take in these games, Austin, watch us in our production for the first game, and then get in the car and come on down here to the complex for the second game.
Yeah, especially with the weather as good as it is. You know, I mean, days like this, I mean, this is why people live in Florida. You know, you look around the country, and there have been times in the month of March when there have been snowstorms and blizzards, and here in Florida, this is what we get. Not a cloud in the sky and about 80 degrees.
Peyton Brennan will lead things off for Daytona State. 8-9-1 here in the third for the Falcons. Brennan, she can get on, really good base runner, lots of speed. See if she can make some contact here. Darian Pippin has been pretty solid in the circle for Lake-Sumter, as that one just misses high.
Yeah, just one hit so far, the solid single from Margettis, couple of strikeouts for Pippin. She's changed speed, she's changed eye level. Only 7 hitters in, but she has been really sharp so far.
This one, oh, how about that grab by Montero? Lakehawks make another great defensive play.
And she's also gotten a lot of help from her defense. The great catch by Jordan Noble in the first inning, and here Montero with a quick reaction. And going up, leaving her feet with that right hand stretched out in order to make the catch.
Sends up Leighton Strickland, the freshman out of Wellington. And a strike deal to her.
Now, Strickland's a player who's steadily earned more and more time, more and more trust from Coach Harrell. She was primarily a pinch runner, but stepped up when given the opportunity. And Coach Harrell loves what she provides down in the 9-hole. With Rodriguez in the leadoff spot, you don't expect your leadoff hitter to get a ton of RBI opportunities, but because of how good Strickland has been, Rodriguez now finds herself at the top of the order when the lineup turns over, coming to the plate with someone on base.
Take that one high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the order coming up. Immediately following, Mariana Rodriguez is on deck. Little change up, misses.
Sometimes you just see it. You know, Darian Pippen, when you watch her move around the circle, she looks like she has full command. She looks comfortable. She's in a good rhythm. She's hitting her spots.
Into the mitt for strike 3. Just nothing that Strickland can do with that pitch. And there is 2 down as Daytona State turns the page now to the top of the order.
The 3rd strikeout for Pippen. Again, just 1 hit allowed so far. Strickland wanted to pull the trigger, couldn't fully commit, and then right when the ball is getting into the zone, she tries to flip the bat at it. Just not enough of a quick reaction there to be able to make contact and put it in play.
So now it's Mariana Rodriguez. You know she's itching to get back into the box here. She had that line drive to center field that was taken away from her by the center fielder, Noble. Coach Harrell cannot say enough good things about the way that Rodriguez has swung the bat this year. A .330 average. He has been the best offensive punch for the Falcons.
And swing a little bit long there, but 34 hits this season. She's got the power to hit for extra bases. And when she was out of the lineup in concussion protocol for those 6 games, this offense wasn't nearly the same.
Little bit low, and I mean just missed. Darren Daniels, the home plate umpire.
That was a tough call. I thought that was strike 3. Rodriguez with 2 strikes, able to hold up, and she gets new life.
Staying alive is Rodriguez. Mariana Rodriguez, sophomore out of Mexico City, Mexico. Has had to deal with being far away from home, but good place to be here in Daytona. Good swing this time, and this is into right center field for a base hit. She'll make the turn and stop. Looked like she wanted that second base, Austin, but eventually decides, you know what, I'm not going to test it.
She was almost halfway to second base, but ultimately decided to go back. Great piece of hitting there, stayed with it, kept the bat through the zone, able to go the opposite way with that pitch by Pippen. Right off the end of the bat, full extension from her arms and hands, and there you see that turn that Drew was talking about.
Forced out at second base, though. Well played by Lakehawks as they don't panic in a perfect defensive position. So Daytona State once again retired in the 3rd. Still a goose egg on the board. It is 7-0 as we head to the 4th here from beautiful Daytona Beach. We'll be right back.
Understand this year has been overwhelming for most of our community. The struggle to take care of yourself and your family. The uncertainty. At Halifax Health, our doors are always open, and we're here to make you feel safe again. We're here so you don't have to hide from your health. We're here to take care of you. Halifax Health. Live your life well.
Welcome back to Daytona State College. Not an easy day so far for the Falcons. The home team as they trail 7-0. But Daytona State slowly starting to get some runners aboard. Good swing by Rodriguez to get her on base. Onesimo also got a pretty good piece. But again, the timely hits, another thing Coach Harrell was a little concerned about. And that lady right there, Darian Pippen, One of the reasons why the Falcons have just been not able to get out of the starting blocks, I should say here, aptly said in Daytona.
Yeah, the margin for error is lower for this team because of the injuries, and they can't afford to make defensive mistakes. And so far, 3 errors through the first 3 innings. And of the 7 runs that Lake-Sumter has scored, none of them have been earned so far. That gives you an idea of just how fine the margins are. Daytona State's got to be great defensively. I think Emerson, for the most part, has done a pretty good job. I mean, the ball's been put in play, but she needs her defense to back her up.
Jaritza Montero leads it off here in the 4th. Base hit and a ground out for Montero, 1 for 2.
Set the program record for doubles a season ago. Transferred into Lake-Sumter from the College of Central Florida.
This is laced into center field. Yeah, we're getting some great contact on the ball. Players seeing the ball well on both sides.
For the most part, Emerson has been good about keeping the ball in the bottom portion of the zone. That time she missed up. And when you miss up, the ball has a chance to be driven like that. We've seen a lot of hits for Lake-Sumter that are ground balls that have bounced through. That one was a solid line drive. And when the ball is more in the upper part of the zone, when it's elevated, these Lake-Sumter hitters have a chance to tee off. Emerson's got to stay down.
See Rizzuto behind the plate. This is a dribbler to short. Again, they're going to go for the sure out at first. So a good job over there. You see Daisy Mcqueen, the second baseman, Austin, running over to cover, and it looks like Thomas tried to beat out that throw to first. May have jammed that knee.
We saw Jordan Noble suffer an injury running the bases in the 3rd inning. Now it's Thomas. You see Jay Miller leaning down as they look at her right leg. I'll give you another look. So it's a slash by Thomas, and really right out of the box. A bad step, and it doesn't get any better as she's going down the first baseline.
Now I'm wondering, it's tough to tell from that replay, but did the ball go off her knee when she took a swing? I don't believe. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, and you see that the training staff there working and kind of twisting those knees to find out if they're the same in both. So here's the slash. She's leaving the box.
Yeah.
And it's just a bad step. Just a bad step. Very similar to what we saw with Noble. I mean, it's in a different part of the field, but Noble took a bad step, and similar situation for Thomas. And luckily, she's able to walk off the field under her own power and looks pretty smooth walking off. Was able to put equal weight on both feet there.
See in the outfit for Daytona State, Strickland.
Now batting, the catcher, number 24, Raquel Camuglia.
And this is Raquel Camuglia, the freshman. Couple fielder's choice play she's had today. Runner is on second base here for Lake-Sumter. And of course, Austin, whenever you get into the 4th and 5th inning and you see a 7 or 8-0 score, there's always that threat of a run rule game.
It's something that oftentimes enters the mind of people that are in our position. But, I've talked to a lot of players and coaches, and they say when you're out there, it's not something that they think about. It's not something they're aware of necessarily. They're trying to play every pitch and stay in the spot, and that's the way that you can be successful.
Good looking pitch there to Camuglia.
And right there at the bottom part of the zone. That's where Emerson wants to work. The goal when she's in the circle is to get some weak ground balls and hope the defense backs her up.
Fouls this one away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out here at Daytona State. Top of the 4th inning. It's been all Lake-Sumter thus far.
5 runs in the first, 2 more in the second. Taking advantage of some Daytona State errors, Falcons have committed 3. And all the runs surrendered by Emerson have been unearned.
Zoe Emerson still smiling. Has not been an easy afternoon thus far. She has given Coach Kelly Harrell everything she's got out there right now. And there's a beautiful pitch to ring up Camuglia.
Just painted the outside corner. Love the reaction, especially from Rizzuto. Takes off the helmet, shows her approval. Full count payoff pitch. You've got to be right around the zone. Camuglia couldn't pull the trigger, and that was perfectly placed by Emerson.
Ball is hit hard, but it's going to be foul. See Jaritza Montero booking around the bag. She wants to be the 8th run here in this game. Reese Snipes had a really good afternoon so far.
Another Volusia County native. Her and Mackenzie Heaton, both from Spruce Creek.
Fouled away. She had the check swing that time and looks at her coach, Jay Miller, and says, hey, I did the best I could with it. Ball just kind of fluttered up there.
That's when you know as a pitcher, your confidence starts to build because you know you've got hitters guessing. That's a huge confidence lift for Emerson.
Snipes swipes at it, hit to right field, and caught out there as Brennan. Good adjustment to put it away for Daytona State and keep Lake-Sumter off the scoreboard in the 4th. So through 3.5, score is still 7-0. Falcons looking to avoid that shutout, get some runs here in just a moment. Welcome back here to Daytona State College. Drew Felios alongside Austin Line. You know, I was wondering, as you're enjoying this game from wherever you're watching it, you can watch every softball game, basketball game right here on the Daytona State College YouTube page. We're not calling every single game, Austin, but still a great feature put together here by Daytona State College.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing colleges do this more and more, and here at Daytona State, the production quality is great, giving those family members who aren't here in the Daytona area the chance to see their children, grandchildren, nephews. It's fantastic to be able to watch their family members play.
Yep, students and professionals here on campus doing a tremendous job. You can watch Daytona State College athletics from anywhere in the world. And we're thrilled to bring it to you today. Daisy Mcqueen up to bat here for Daytona State. And that ball just grazed her on the elbow, so she will take first base.
You know, McQueen's a player who's elevated her play in conference. Her batting average was much lower than you would have expected coming into the season. She got off to a little bit of a slow start, but has really picked it up. Kind of similar to last year when she got hot in conference play, and she's a major threat on the bases. 11 steals this year. I would expect her to be on the move here with Margettis at the plate.
Anna Margettis had great contact last time. I really like Daisy McQueen's game, too. A tremendous athlete for the Falcons. Seems to play well every time she is on television. Remember, last time we were here, she was in a little bit of a slump and busted out of it in front of the cameras.
All conference last year, and she can fly.
There's that speed as she gets down to second base and safely.
Good throw by Camuglia, nearly got her as Snipes tried to get that tag down, but just too much speed, and now 12 stolen bases this year for Mcqueen.
Gotta like the Falcons' chances here to push across that first run. They've got a runner now in scoring position with nobody out. See if Margettis can come through here. Ball gets away again. Mcqueen, opportunistic, heads to third. So Daisy Mcqueen doing her job. Sophomore out of Lutz, and now Darian Pippin trying to figure out how to silence this lineup. Margettis watches one. It's a strike. And a 2-2 count. Margettis drills it. This one is back. It's to the warning track and off the wall. Mcqueen scores easily. Margettis is into second, and Daytona State finally with something cooking.
And Margettis 2 for 2. We said during her first at-bat she was seeing the ball well. That one was smoked. Nearly out of here over the fence in left. Great contact from Margettis. Hardest hit ball we've seen so far today, and it results in the first run of the game. Gets a pitch she can handle, able to extend those arms out over the plate. Johnson had no chance as it skips up against the fence.
This ball is swung on first pitch, popped up. Left fielder comes over. It's Johnson making the grab for the first out. You saw Margettis, though, at second. After she got on, doing that Falcon flying motion, finally, Daytona State has taken flight here. It's taken about 4 innings for it to happen, but good to see those bats finally starting to be aggressive. So now this is Maddie Linhardt. Got some home run power. She's gone yard 3 times this year. Off the end of the bat, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just 3 hits allowed so far by Pippin, but Daytona State starting to square her up a little bit more here the second time through. Nearly a home run from Margettis. Rizzuto didn't miss it by much.
The 1-1 here from Darian Pippin. Dribbler. It's going to be a tough play. Safe at first. Oh, great hustle that time by Linhardt. And heading over to third base was Margettis. So runners on the corners here with 1 out.
Montero normally so reliable at second base. I think she had more time than she thought. She tries to shovel the ball to Motzinger with her glove rather than pick it up. I think if she picks it up, there was enough time to flip it over, but the speed of Linhardt certainly putting more pressure on the defense.
It's the toughest play to make, Austin, in softball. Right in the middle, little dribbler. This is going to be an easy play to make, though, as Montero makes the grab. And there's 2 away. Got to be a little more selective. 2 first pitch, easy pop-ups produced by the Falcons lineup here in a quick 2 outs.
You want to be aggressive. Ferry there looking for a productive out. If you hit a ball into the outfield, you're probably going to score Margettis with a sacrifice fly, but missed her pitch. Instead, just a weak pop out to second, and runners at the corner still with 2 outs.
And it's Peyton Brennan's turn. Brennan drills one into center field. Another run is in for Daytona State. It's 7-2, so starting to chip away a little bit at that lead with 2 on and 2 outs.
Clearly, Kelly Harrell instructing her players to go after Pippin early in the count. We have seen time and time again here in the 4th, Daytona State swinging at the first pitch of an at-bat, and it's resulted in a couple of runs and some hard hit balls here in the 4th.
So making that adjustment here with Leighton Strickland up. Another first pitch swing. into right field and caught out there by Herndon. But Austin, you said it, swinging on that first pitch, clearly a strategy there for Daytona State. Be aggressive with absolutely nothing to lose. 7-2 is your score. Lake-Sumter will try and answer when we return here to Daytona Beach. So we begin the fifth here at Daytona State. Lake-Sumter up to bat here, and Alyssa Upsall to lead things off. 6, 7, and 8 for the Lady Hawks, for the Lake Hawks rather. Here in the fifth.
Upsall, a unique combination of being a left-handed hitter, right-handed thrower over at third base. And she's got a lot of speed as well, among the team leaders in steals.
Tremendous athleticism from Alyssa Upsall. Interesting to see where she heads to play softball next year. Great talent. And there's a strike.
She's been out in front of Emerson twice, hit ground balls to the right side. I think you've got to give Emerson a lot of credit. She gave up 5 runs, 5 hits in the top half of the first inning. Would have been really easy for her to hang her head and potentially not give her team a whole lot in this game, but she has stood in there, and now in the 5th inning, she has given Coach Kelly Harrell a lot of options, not just for the remainder of this game, but for game 2 as well. Just means you've got that many more arms at your disposal to be able to eat up innings and give your offense a chance to win.
Rhonda Motzinger now comes up, and Zoe Emerson. Thought she was going to be limited innings as a relief pitcher early in the season. Here she is. She's put the team on her back here in this game 1 of this doubleheader. Another hard hit ball into the outfield. And Austin, got to ask you, if Lake-Sumter is to string together a few hits here, your coach Kelly Harrell, do you finally make the move and decide, you know what, I've gotten as much out of her as I could possibly get?
Maybe. I think it depends on where the hits are. You know, the hit by Upsall was solid. That by Motzinger right there, you know, bouncing ball that gets through the hole. Look, Emerson is a ground ball pitcher. There's going to be balls that are put in play. You're hoping that your defense has a chance to make plays.
Little dribbler, no play to be made. Everybody is safe. So the base is loaded, nobody out, and another huge moment in this game for the Falcons.
Well, it's great to see Noble back in there. That was an awesome bunt. They have been really good at playing small ball. The times when they have been asked to bunt or slash, they have executed perfectly nearly every time. That ball is put exactly where you want it to be. You want to bunt it down the first baseline, and Noble does it to perfection.
Change is going to be made here in the lineup. See Darren Daniels having a little talk here with Jay Miller. And let's see what tools he tries to change here. Umpires will talk things over here. And do you think possibly Coach Harrell is asking for maybe the umpires to discuss whether she would be ruled out as she laid that bunt down, Austin?
So Noble took an interesting path to first base. I don't know what she saw or what she felt, but she turned slightly out of the base path to get to first base. There was no throw and there was no presence that would have necessarily caused her to do that. So I don't know if, Coach Harrell just asking, maybe did she step out of the baseline and that was enough for her to be out, but umpires come together, they discuss it and say safe, which I think is the right call. I mean, I saw her take a turn, but it didn't look like it was wide enough to the point where she was out of the baseline.
Can Zoe Emerson battle out of this one? It's going to be tough here. Bases are juiced, and a pinch hitter, Mackenzie Heaton, will swing a bat for the first time today for Lake-Sumter. Freshman out of Port Orange, another Spruce Creek product represented. That one's low, ball one.
Yeah, Heaton and Reese Snipes, the starting shortstop, teammates at Spruce Creek a year ago.
Tell you what, we saw Lake-Sumter last season play here at Daytona State. Austin, the talent is much elevated more than that team was from 2021. I mean, Coach Miller is doing some work on the recruiting trail.
Lost some nice pieces, brought back some quality players, went out and got some new faces that have been big parts of this program.
There's Tatum McGrath. She is the pinch runner, freshman out of Venice. So Tatum going to get a chance here to contribute.
He's got 7 steals, so another player on this team with good speed.
Ball's put in play, and it's going to get through. One run is in. Here comes the second. Lake-Sumter trying to bust this game open here in the 5th.
Boy, the margins are so fine. Onesimo came so close to knocking that ball down. If she has one more step, that's potentially a double play ball, but just enough on it for it to get through, and that may be all for Emerson.
So another meeting in the circle here. Coach Harrell, see if she does, in fact, give the ball to somebody else. Plenty of teaching this year for Coach Harrell. And as she meets with her team, we'll tell you about another program here from Halifax Health. You can accelerate your education by taking advantage of the incredible opportunities offered through Halifax Health's partnership with Daytona State College. If you want a rewarding career in healthcare, find out how we can help at halifaxhealth.org/education to employment. Check out that website. All the information about Halifax Health, a career in the medical field awaits. Coach Harrell has done a lot of teaching, and Austin, it still wows me how she is the only coach on this staff. So much on her plate, trying to guide this program back into the win column.
And she's pitched at extremely high levels, pitched in college, pitched professionally over in Europe. You mentioned this earlier. This is the first time she's experiencing a season like this. And for so many of these players, that's probably the case as well. As Lake-Sumter is going to take a base, Heaton moves up to second to make it second and third. And this is where you really find out what kind of fortitude you've got. When things aren't going well, that's when you learn, do I have players that are going to be in it for the fight? It's easy to be focused, be locked in, and show up to practice and have good energy at games when things are going well and you're winning all the time. It's a lot harder to do that when you're losing most of the games that you're playing. And so this is, a moment and experience that these players and coaches never going to forget.
Lifted into left field, tried to test the arm, and a good job by Rodriguez charging in to hold the runner at third. So Mariana Rodriguez, very quick in the outfield. Great first step out there as soon as the ball came off the bat. And Daytona State really needed that out as Jerissa Montero now comes up to the plate.
You know, I thought that Coach Harrell coming out might mean the end for Emerson. It just ended up being a long discussion, which, by the way, the home plate umpire, Darren Daniels, was extremely generous in the amount of time
I was about to say
that he allowed Coach Harrell to talk to her infield. I don't know that I've ever seen a coach have that much time, especially without making a change, but she was able to calm her team down, and they've gotten the last 2 outs here in the 5th.
How about that play by Maddie Linhardt at the hot corner? That ball was absolutely laced. She was on her knees, got up, made the quick throw. Let's watch this one more time to appreciate it.
And we've talked about her defensive prowess, and this is the second time that she has made a fantastic play. The throw is right on the money to Margettis.
Daytona State still chattering in that dugout. Lots of enthusiasm here late in this 2022 season. Alyssa Dragovich steps in now for Lake-Sumter. She'll also pinch hit.
And not a surprise, given what we saw from Kaylee Thomas as she got hurt stepping out of the box in her last at-bat. Needed some medical attention, so Thomas unable to bat here, and Dragovich gets a chance to swing it.
Taken care of by Mcqueen at second. Daytona State gives up 2 runs, but they'll come back to the dugout. 9-2 is your score. Falcons still have life here in the bottom of the 5th. You're watching Daytona State Softball on WDSC TV. So 9-2 is the score as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Here on the Falcons Athletic Network, some changes made for Lake-Sumter. And let's see if they still go with the same pitcher. Yes, it will be Darian Pippin still in the circle here for the Lakehawks.
Pippin could very easily be wearing white and blue today instead of green and black. I was talking with Lake-Sumter coaching staff before the game earlier today, and they told me that Pippin was interested in both schools, Daytona State and Lake-Sumter, couldn't decide. So literally, she decided she was going to flip a coin to determine where she was going to go, and the result of that coin flip meant that she ended up signing with Lake-Sumter over Daytona State. Something that, no doubt, in these moments, Lake-Sumter coach Jay Miller is thankful for. Said he didn't know whether it was heads or tails that it ended up landing on and which one his team had, but ended up flipping a coin to determine where she was going to play the first part of her college career.
That's pretty insane. Mariana Rodriguez now stepping in. She'll take a strike. I think the key is come out of high school, you play at this level, you just want to get on the field. You want to fine-tune your skills, figure out where you're going to play at that next level, get a taste of collegiate competition, and then get a chance to move on to the university level as that play is made. And Lake-Sumter, so far defensively, they've been pretty sharp here in this game.
Look, it takes courage to play at third base, and Upsall was up a little bit in front of the bag. You never know how hard that ball is going to come at you. Upsall knocked it down, able to gather herself and make a good throw.
Adriana Onesimo stepping in now for Daytona.
You ever flip a coin to make a decision, Drew?
Not really, no. I'll take forever, though, to think about it. Sometimes I should probably resort to that.
I could see flipping a coin to like decide where we were going to eat.
Yeah.
You know, for dinner, where you want to go for lunch.
Eating to me is too important to have it be determined like that.
But even you have two places that you equally like, you know, you're okay with. I just can't imagine flipping a coin to make a decision as big as where you're going to go to college.
Oh, man.
I guess when you really like both places,
Yep.
you know, you're happy. You're literally going to be happy either way.
Yeah, two great institutions. NJCAA softball simply cannot go wrong. If you're a high school athlete, want to play at that next level, some tremendous programs to get you ready.
Yeah, for both these coaches, Coach Miller and Coach Harrell, having spent a little bit of time with them over the last couple of years, they're passionate about softball. They want to win, but both of these individuals have great perspective, you know, as Onesimo delivers a base hit to left. So they realize that it's not just about the wins and losses. They're trying to develop these players to give them a chance to go on to bigger and better things in softball, but they're also trying to develop young women to be productive members of society. And having that perspective, I think, is so important for college coaches. Oftentimes, there's such a premium placed on winning and losing that we lose sight of the development that sports can have.
Daisy Mcqueen, big swing and a miss. We talked to Coach Harrell about that before the game. She said that academically this team is as good as it can be. And that's really, really good news because at the end of the day, it all happens in the classroom. Little dribbler inside the circle and a forced play at second base.
Snipes dropped it. Pippin made a throw on the money to second base, but Snipes just couldn't squeeze it. So Snipes has got to make a quick decision here. You see the ball takes a weird hop. She gloves it, throws. Snipes is right there on the bag, but she doesn't look the ball into the glove. She kind of tries to scoop the glove out of there a little bit, as if maybe the presence of Onesimo might hit the glove or she might get hit, so she kind of tries to squeeze it out of the way. Doesn't look it into the glove, and so no out recorded.
Popped up in the air. And infield fly rule is going to take care of this one. Snipes gloves it just to be safe. So there's two down.
Catcher, number 4, Hannah Rizzuto.
And now that brings up Hannah Rizzuto, the catcher. So there's Dr. Tom Labasso, president here on campus at Daytona State College. Always great to see him. He is a fixture at athletic events, whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, volleyball, softball. He is always in the stands. He is the Falcons' biggest fan.
You love seeing that kind of support from the administration, and it's something that players and coaches notice. I can't tell you how often, and I'm sure, Drew, you've experienced something similar. We work with or for a team, we do a game, and you hear about how invested the community and the school is in the product, and it makes the players on the field feel so much better about their performance when they know that they're being backed up by either their fellow students, their teachers, or their administration. So awesome to see him out there checking the game out.
Absolutely. He is a sports fan through and through. Hannah Rizzuto. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Women's sports here on campus. Just awesome what the volleyball team, the soccer team has done over the years. Big swing there, and it is sent to the second baseman. She takes a few steps back, makes the play, and the Falcons are retired here in the 5th. 9-2 is your score. We go to the 6th inning here at Daytona State College right after this. Welcome back here on campus, 9-2, Lake-Sumter. The Lakehawks leading Daytona State College. Drew Felios, Austin Lyon. Thrilled to have you with us here today. There's Hannah Rizzuto doing great work behind the plate for Daytona State. You see Tom Labasso, school president, making the rounds. He's not just watching the game, Austin. He's making sure everybody feels right at home here in the stands. A great athletic environment here in Falcons country. And Zoe Emerson continuing to battle. This is put in play. Linhardt's played a really good third base as she takes care of that one for out one.
And that first out means that this is now the longest outing of the year for Zoe Emerson. She threw 5 innings earlier this season and now has gone 5 1/3. Went 5 innings against Hillsborough Community College. That was back on February 5th. So, another example of perseverance here. Emerson not expected to be a huge part of the pitching staff. She's had to shoulder a much harder load, a much bigger load.
Oh, how about that catch in left field? That's Rodriguez making the dive and chalk that one up as a web gem here in a game that has had great defensive play one after the other.
We have seen a ton of great defensive efforts. This might be the best one by Rodriguez. This ball by Snipes is on a line. Looks like it is definitely going to fall. Not quite full extension, but nearly full extension for Rodriguez. Laying that glove out and making the catch. That is awesome. I think the catch by Jordan Noble in the bottom half of the first inning was probably the best defensive play we had seen up to that point, but Rodriguez trumps it.
Upsall gets a good swing. Another tremendous grab over to first, and out there is Upsall. Daisy Mcqueen with one of the great plays of the season for Daytona State. How does she make that?
Just incredible, these defensive efforts on back-to-back plays. Mcqueen with one step, she lays out, the glove is up in the air, and then the presence and the poise to get up and deliver the throw quickly to Marguetis. They get her by half a step. Incredible back-to-back defensive plays for Daytona State.
So some defensive excellence for the Falcons, a program that need good things to happen right now. They just made it happen in the 6th. Let's see if they can follow it up offensively.
For the Falcons, number 8, Maddie Lindhardt.
Maddie Linhardt leads things off for Daytona State here in the bottom of the 6th. There's the story thus far. A 2 spot for the Falcons in the 4th. That's been all the offensive production. And for Lake-Sumter, Austin, it was that quick start, that 5-inning first, or that 5-run first, that Daytona State has not fully been able to recover from.
And 2 errors in the top half of the first inning was a huge part of the story. Lake-Sumter put the ball in play. Daytona State had opportunities to make defensive plays. If they had been solid in the first inning, may very well have been no runs that came across, but a couple of big defensive errors allowed Lake-Sumter to clear the bases when they were loaded. A big double by Motzinger, and the floodgates open. But credit Zoe Emerson and this defense. They have come back and shown really well here these last few innings.
So Linhardt aboard with the walk.
The next batter, number 9, Ella Ferry.
Falcons need runners. Ella Ferry will come up here. It'll be Ferry followed by Brennan and then Strickland. Leighton Strickland will be up in this inning for Daytona State. See Camuglia behind the plate for Lake-Sumter. And as this game has gone on, you've seen the crowds slowly grow here at Halifax Health Softball Stadium. I think they're listening to what we're preaching here. Come on out, enjoy some Daytona State softball on a beautiful day. And there's a strike into the mitt.
Yeah, I think they're listening to you and me and decide that the view for real is much better than having to watch you and me. Our production crew is excellent. The pictures and the sounds are awesome. But I totally understand if people have turned us on and they decide, I'm not listening to these two guys. Going out there and watching for myself.
That's a pretty good day to get out, get a little tan. As a swing and a miss by Ferry takes care of her for the first out. But I'll tell you what, I get out there, Austin, in about 10 minutes, I'm burned. I'm not a very good tanner. Credit to our camera crew out there who day after day, they hang in there and weather the elements. It's a beautiful day today, but it's not always that way during soccer season and during baseball season as well.
Yeah, good off-speed pitch there from Pippen. Those are the people that you see, like that camera guy, the people in the control room who you probably won't see. I don't know if we have a camera in there. Those are the people that actually work during these broadcasts. They have the difficult job of having to set up, they tear down, they work throughout the game. All you and I do is sit here and talk. This is incredibly easy when compared to the hard work that the rest of our crew puts in.
Yep. Great crew represented what is going on. Getting a little FaceTime here. Another pop-up. Lake Hawks will come over and make the grab. That's Montero at second base. And there's two away. And every time I come here to campus, I'm smiling from ear to ear because, Austin, a production like the one we're a part of here today, you just don't see it at the NJCAA level. And most big-time Division I universities don't produce the quality that Daytona State does. As we continue to acknowledge our crew here in the sixth.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see schools now offer video quote-unquote broadcasts, but it's, a single camera behind home plate that oftentimes doesn't move. The exposure that our crew gives to the Daytona State teams is excellent, and the commitment that the university has shown to showcasing these athletes is outstanding.
Certainly one of a kind. Ball is delivered low. Leighton Strickland representing the final hope here for Daytona State in the sixth.
You take away the first inning, Drew, and it's been really a competitive, close, well-played game. Daytona State has had a ton of opportunities. They've had runners on in every inning except for the first. So they've left 6, including 2 the last couple innings. There have been opportunities for Daytona State to be much closer in this game. And again, a 5-run first. Since then, it's only 4-2. This has been a game that is much closer than I think the score indicates. They teach you, by the way, as a youngster, when you're getting started, you want to have a little bit of knee flex. You want to have a little bit of knee bend. Leighton Strickland takes that to a whole nother level. I can't believe how low she gets. That looks more like a fielding stance than a batting stance.
Yeah, she's had quality at-bats all year long, and she really makes Darian Pippen work there before drawing the walk. So now it is going to be Rodriguez coming up, top of the order for the Falcons. And what better time, Austin, here than for a 2-out rally.
This is what we talked about, right? Coach Harrell told us that Strickland has had a ton of productive at-bats this year, and when in the 9-hole Strickland gets on, that gives Mariana Rodriguez, who has been the most productive hitter for Daytona State, a chance to hit with runners on base.
Hit to center field, and right at Noble, who is out there to put it away for the Lake Hawks. 9-2 through 6 innings. Daytona State is threatened, but only able to push 2 runs across the board. To the 7th inning we go. And a little 7th inning stretch before we get there right now. 9-2 is your score. Daytona State trailing Lake-Sumter. Halifax Health is looking for its next healthcare superstar. Find out how to become one at halifaxhealth.org/education to employment. Halifax Health, a proud supporter of Falcon Athletics, the official healthcare provider for the Falcon Athletic Program. Still have another sport here to come. We're going to tell you about baseball season here on WDSC TV. But first, Rhonda Motzinger stepping in for Lake-Sumter. She'll wave it one for strike one. Always love this time of year, late March into April. It's my favorite time, especially when you're in the Sunshine State. The weather here is just absolutely gorgeous. Lots of events going on around town. Spring sports in full swing. You get the picture.
NCAA tournament going on. We got the Final Four coming up this weekend. The Masters is next weekend. Good time on the sports calendar.
Zoe Emerson trying to put in a complete game here. Motzinger lays off that pitch. Motzinger had a really good at-bat her first time up. Remember, she hit that 3 RBI double that really separated Lake-Sumter from Daytona in the first. Ball in the dirt.
I think this is going to be a performance that I hope Zoe Emerson can build on, because she got off to a rough start, got hit hard in that first inning, didn't get a whole lot of help from her defense, but since then, she has settled in and thrown a quality game.
Hit to second, and a good play made over there by Daisy Mcqueen, who's had a really good afternoon. Baseball season is here at Daytona State College. We got a broadcast for you next week, 4 o'clock start time. That's against Lake-Sumter. And then Santa Fe comes to town. That's April 18th, 3 p.m. right here on WDSC TV. My favorite coach, Tim Tuma, fixture here on campus, putting that great product out on the field year after year. And Daytona State baseball, just so fun to be a part of every season.
A game above 500 right now. Falcons are 14-13. Red hot at the start of the year. They've struggled a little bit as they've gotten into conference play, but a team that's certainly got the ability to turn around and be a force here the last few weeks of the season.
Jordan Nobles had herself an afternoon. Drops one into left field. Makes that turn. She's done about everything there is to do today. She's had great hitting. She's had great fielding. She's been injured. She's come back. She's left the lineup. She's come back in. And she's still smiling and loving playing this game.
Yeah, Noble now 4 for 4. Coming into the game at an average of 243. That is on its way up with the way she's hit the ball so far this afternoon.
Morgan Herndon in the 9-hole. Little soft hit into left field. All of a sudden, everything that Lake-Sumter touches is dropping in.
And you'd love to see Zoe Emerson be able to get the final couple outs here without Lake-Sumter pushing across a run. She's had zeros in 3 of the last 4 innings. And even though the chances of a Daytona State comeback are really slim, to be able to take a 0 on the board here in the 7th would be huge.
Another ball gets away. Lake-Sumter going to send one to the plate. Play at the plate. She is there. And another run makes it 10-2.
And McQueen's there, has a chance to make a play. Would have been a tough one. Would have been excellent if she'd have been able to keep that ball on the infield and potentially throw out Johnson at first base. Not able to do it. And as a result, a run comes across.
So Morgan Johnson on base again for Lake-Sumter. Coach Harrell comes out to the mound again, and as you said, there's been lots of generosity on the length of mound meetings that Coach Harrell has had. Umpire Darren Daniels. And let's see, I think this could do it here for Emerson.
Yeah, I think, I mean, from the body language and the look of that conversation, it looked like Kelly Harrell came out and asked Emerson if she could keep going. And Emerson said, I've kind of given everything I can give. And so Coach Harrell going to have to make a change. Credit Zoe Emerson for battling through. Again, gave up 5 runs in the first. Looked like Lake-Sumter might blow the game open early and they might run rule Daytona State. We might only play 3 or 4 innings. But Emerson really battled and did a great job keeping her team in it and giving Daytona State a chance to come back. Falcons have had numerous opportunities with runners on base, just unable to get that clutch 2-out base hit and get a big inning to be able to make it a little bit more competitive.
So Ella Ferry, the freshman, has her number called here in the 7th. And her job, simply get Daytona State back to the dugout. Likely not going to win this game. You're going to have to set your sights on game number 2, but just limit the damage here. Do your job and give us some quality pitches.
If Ferry was a catcher at Matanzas High School in Palm Coast, just up the road, up I-95. But has experience as a pitcher in travel ball throughout her career. So yet another example of a player who is put in a role that they didn't expect to be in at the start of the year. But credit the players on this team. They have been willing to do whatever Coach Harrell asks to try and put the team in a position to be successful. And Ferry is the latest example of that.
So again, kudos to Zoe Emerson for a full day put in the circle. Let's see what Ferry can do.
And she's greeted by one of the top hitters in the conference, Doritza Montero.
Doritza Montero's got a busy day. Couple base hits, good defense as well. Likes to stand really up in the box, does not want to give away, that drop ball that pitchers like to throw. She's as far up in the box as anyone I've ever seen.
A much different look from Ferry, pitching-wise. Emerson is not someone who throws with a ton of velocity, but her pitches seem fast compared to what we've seen from Ferry. Holds onto the ball for a long time, and that's why you see Montero up in the box.
Rizzuto able to block it. Runners on 2nd and 3rd here.
And just to kind of finish that point, if a ball is going to be coming in fast, you're facing a pitcher that's got a lot of velocity, you might back up in the box to give yourself an extra half second to be able to see what's coming and react to it. If you're facing someone who doesn't throw with a ton of speed, you want to be up in the box so you can try to attack that pitch.
So the walk drawn by Montero. Now Kaylee Thomas comes up for Lake-Sumter.
The batter, number 10, Alyssa Dragovich.
It's going to be Alyssa Dragovich swinging the bat here in that pinch hitting role.
A second AB for Dragovich after the injury to Thomas. And Ferry yet to be able to find the strike zone. And Lake-Sumter showing good patience. Anytime you have a relief pitcher who comes in and they're struggling to put the ball around the plate, you don't want to make it any easier on them by swinging at bad pitches. I would expect that Lake-Sumter will continue to take until Ferry proves that she can throw a strike.
Eight-run lead for Lake-Sumter. Trying to add to it here in the 7th. Big swing. This is to right field, and it's foul. Dragovich proves she has got some power.
And Dragovich from down in South Florida, played at Park Vista, one of the top softball programs in Broward County.
Two and one. Bases are loaded. Just on the outside part of the plate, it's 3-1.
Well, good work by Rizzuto trying to frame that pitch for Darren Daniels, the home plate umpire, but he was not fooled. And now with the bases loaded, the pressure on Ferry to throw a strike. Got to put the ball in the zone.
And it's off the plate. So another run going to come in off the force. Lake-Sumter not showing any mercy here on Daytona State. And let's see if Coach Harrell will make another change here. So Ferry, her time is going to be short inside the circle. And it looks like Kayla Mckeen is going to get the ball. So trying to find consistency in that pitching spot. That's been the theme of the season for Daytona State. Kayla Mckeen, who has tremendous movement on her pitches, the sophomore out of Middleburg, now will be the third pitcher of the game.
She has seen so much work. This is now going to be the 8th time in the last 10 games that she is pitching. And obviously most of those outings are fairly short, but this is just an example of what kind of struggle it's been for Daytona State and why Coach Harrell so badly wanted Emerson to be able to finish the game so you could start fresh with a new pitcher and have your staff almost completely intact for game 2 of this series. Now, Ferry's come in. She wasn't able to find the strike zone. You've got to warm up McQueen. You've got to bring her in. Limits how much she might be able to throw in game 2. And obviously no let up, as you said, from this Lake-Sumter lineup.
It's been that type of season for Coach Harrell. You see the expression. 2022 full of challenges. Certainly going to make her better as a head coach and players better as well, facing adversity, learning how to deal with it. Next season, expect to see more pitching depth here at Daytona State. Also, expect to see players come on campus that absolutely want to compete. Takes nothing away from this team, Austin, but maybe a little more fire, a little more sense of urgency in some of the new recruits.
And again, it's just a tremendous challenge when you don't have the pitching staff that you thought you might have. Paige Lassiter, projected to be one of their best pitchers, their leadoff hitter, a center fielder. She took a line drive to the eye while pitching and continues to deal with some vision issues, although she is expected to make a comeback next season. She's part of the team in a limited capacity. So you lose your best player, the person you think is going to be your number 1 pitcher. All right, well, everyone else has to step up, right? Well, then Kansas Crean and Mariah Rivera, 2 pitchers who have combined to throw almost 50 innings, you lose them for the rest of the season. It's just difficult. It's impossible for us to articulate how difficult it is for a coach and a team to deal with that amount of injuries.
And now 3-1. So this is Raquel Camuglia. Home plate umpire will take time here. Darren Daniels. Bases still loaded. Ball is hit hard to shortstop. Get the sure out at first, and probably could have in that situation thrown it home, but Onesimo decided first base was a little more certain.
I think that's the right decision. You've got Johnson, who's one of the fastest players on the team at third base. You don't necessarily want to take the chance that she might beat that throw. Much more likely to get an out at first base, especially with a right-handed hitter at the plate. Not as quick to be able to get down the line, so smart play there by Onesimo.
Now Reese Snipes steps in. Runners on second and third now. 2 down. Lake-Sumter has led for pretty much this entire game. Big pitch that time. So Kayla Mckeen starting to go to work here. It's 0-2.
It's tough for the Lake-Sumter hitters. I mean, you're talking about a huge change in velocity. You saw one level with Emerson. Ferry comes in, and it was kind of like batting practice a little bit, and now you're seeing Mcqueen, who throws the fastest by far.
Onesimo can't handle the dribbler. Runners on first and third now, and I think Coach asking for an interference here as Onesimo came up to field the ball, and the runner going from second to third looked to have maybe gotten in her way. James Way is the third base umpire.
The batter, number 8, Alyssa Upsall.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily see interference there. I mean, I understand Kelly Harrell wants to get out and fight for her kids, and I think that's great. But the challenging thing in softball, as we see this grounded at third by Linhardt, the ball comes off the bat with so much spin. There's no way as a viewer you can understand how much spin is on these balls that are being put in play. They might look like easy ground balls. They are not.
Finally, Daytona State out of the inning. That was a long top half of the 7th. And now the final chance to produce runs here in the first game of the doubleheader for Coach Harrell's team. Welcome back here to the Falcons Athletic Network. Drew Felios with Austin Lyon and our phenomenal crew bringing you Daytona State softball. Adriana Onesimo will lead it off here in the 7th. It'll be Onesimo, Mcqueen, and Margettis for Daytona State. Darian Pippin has put in quite a performance in the circle for Lake-Sumter, trying to finish things off here. This ball is hit to right field, and coming over to make the catch, that's Herndon out there for the first out.
Good contact made by Onesimo. She's hit it hard a couple of times and had it result in outs. Love to try to build something. You know, there's such a short gap between games 1 and 2 that it's hard to completely reset yourself. That's what you want as a coach. That's what you want as a player, is to completely reset. But because it's such a short amount of time between games, there's a lot of carryover, I think, from game 1 to game 2 in these junior college softball doubleheaders.
Daisy Mcqueen here for the Falcons. Got a piece and it foul. Mcqueen, her bat usually heats up late in seasons, and it has done the same here in 2022. A little bit of a hitting slump at the beginning of the year. It's starting to make great contact, and it really kind of started the last time we had them on television. This ball is fouled, and it'll be out of play.
As she was down below 200 when we were here a few weeks ago, and her average coming into the game today, 256. So she has certainly elevated her level of play at the start of the conference season. She is seeing the ball much better, driving it, and a player who can apply a ton of pressure to the opposing defense with her speed.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. So strike 3, and that's as good a pitch as Darian Pippen has had today.
5 strikeouts for Pippen. 1 out away from a solid, complete game effort. Reached back for a little bit more with this one. A good fastball there. On the outer part of the plate, upper part of the zone. Mcqueen just late. Now Margettis with 2 outs, and she's been by far the best hitter for Daytona State.
Final hope for the Falcons here. Trailing by 11 runs. It's been another trying afternoon here at the ballpark for Coach Kelly Harrell in Daytona State. Certainly some positives in this game, but just not enough firepower, just not enough quality pitching from the Falcons. That one fouled back, and it's 1-2 Lake-Sumter, a strike away.
Another game in which the offense has produced 6+ hits, and that's a positive for Daytona State. Just hope that they can get enough pitching in the next few weeks so that that offense can carry them to some wins.
Lifted. Right fielder comes in, can't make the grab. Ball ricochets off her. It's Herndon who is on the ground. Margettis heads to third base, so she is in safely. But all eyes right now on the right fielder, Herndon, who is down and shaken up. That is Morgan Herndon, the sophomore out of Wesley Chapel.
So the ball is tailing away. Herndon coming in as Montero goes out. Herndon calls her off. Hard to tell based on that replay where exactly it hit her.
I think it got her right in the shoulder there.
Yeah, they're trying to work on her left shoulder. She had the sleeve rolled up there. One more look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does, like, kind of just below the shoulder, maybe, kind of that upper arm area.
That certainly stings.
So Pippen will have to face at least one more batter.
And that batter is going to be Hannah Rizzuto here, the catcher. She's got 11 RBIs this year, trying to add to that. This is a drive. Left field. Will it stay in play? Just out of play. And that is what you call a guess, Austin.
I was watching that third base umpire. I was watching James Way. Once he put his hands up, I knew that it was out of play. You're looking for one hand and the closed fist for the out call, or is it 2 hands up to indicate dead ball?
Just out of range of our cameras. And this one delivered high. Hannah Rizzuto in the box right now for Daytona State. She can also pitch if needed down the line. Darian Pippen with a big smile, trying to finish this game off. Falcons down to their last out, trying to extend this game here. And a strike at the knees.
Yeah, Pippen, one turn, one more revolution of a coin away from being at Daytona State. And think about how different the seasons could be for these teams, and how much different the Daytona State pitching staff would be if it landed on the opposite of either heads or tails, whatever the schools were named. Pippen would have ended up at Daytona State.
That is college athletics for you on the recruiting trail. 2-2 to Rizzuto. Staying alive here. So after Rizzuto, Linhardt will be hitting for Daytona State. Maddie Linhardt, if it gets to her, and then Ella Ferry would be following her. Hit it to third, and just foul.
You know, we see quite a show most of the time when big-time recruits commit. Maybe we should see more of that. You know, there's like 5 hats on the table.
Please, no more of that.
And we're like, you know, he picks one and then puts it back. He puts one, he picks, and then he like puts a hat on. You think he's finally made a decision. He like unzips a jacket and there's a shirt for a different school. Maybe from now on we just have a recruit spin a coin when they're at the signing table for signing day.
Not a big fan of the theatrics. Pippen delivers it just high. I think schools that the staffs do such a great job to toy with them and kind of tease them, I'm just not a fan. I think just say, hey, I'm going here. Maybe wear a shirt underneath or something like that, but some of the teasing, save it. How about that pitch? Darian Pippen comes through for Lake-Sumter, and this ball game is over. 13-2 the final. Lake-Sumter, their record improves to 21-22. Falcons fall to 6-32. Lake-Sumter in control for pretty much the entire game. Daytona State had pretty good moments, got some good contact on the ball. Daisy Mcqueen played well. Margettis with some nice hits. Emerson, lots of effort in the circle, but Austin just not enough.
Yeah, credit Emerson for battling back after that tough start, giving up 5 runs. Defense didn't help her out much with a couple of critical errors in that first inning. Daytona State had opportunities. They ultimately leave 9 on base for the game. So it could have been a much different outcome. You hope that Daytona State's improved hitting will be enough to carry them to some wins here down the stretch, but tough when you lose your top 3 pitchers, as we documented throughout the game. This pitching staff is just in a real difficult spot for the rest of the season.
Daytona State baseball comes your way April 4th. That's next week, 4 p.m. Lake-Sumter comes to town. Cannot wait to bring you that right here on WDSC TV. Also, mark your calendar. Falcons baseball once again on the 18th of April. Follow us on Twitter at DSC Falcons Sports. Hashtag Go Falcons. Daytona State, always a presence on social media. We cannot thank you enough for joining us, Austin. Always a pleasure to have you here with us in studio as well.
Pleasure to work with this team. Great group of people.
Well, good luck to these ladies, as they have still got lots of softball ahead of them in 2022. And all the names you're seeing on the board right now, our crew bringing Daytona State softball to you. For all of them and Austin Lyon, I'm Drew Fellio saying so long from Daytona State College. The Falcons come up just short today, but lots to look forward to the rest of the year. We'll see you next week for some baseball right here at Daytona State College.